Emotional versus logical confidence. I remember thinking when I was trying to lose weight that I knew all the things that I needed to do. I really did. I had been in the US Army. I was awarded, and this is when I was 41 years old. Pretty much they called me grandma when I was in the service. I went in the service extremely late on life. And I was overweight when I got in, and in 3 months I trimmed down to 133 pounds from all the way from 159. And I remember thinking, I know what I have to do. I know what exercises are good for my body. I know how many hours and days I have to exercise. I know what things I need to eat, because those were the things that they would feed us when I was in the US Army. Like, for example, I knew that I had to quit my intake of caffeine because that was bad for my body. I knew that I had to increase my water intake, and I knew that I had to get at least 10 hours of sleep. I knew all those things, logically, intellectually, but emotionally, there was a block. I couldn't get myself to do consistently all the things that I wanted to do. Yes, there were some months and some weeks that I will rearrange my clothes. I will change my schedule for 4 to 5, 6 weeks and try to go to the gym on time, even though I was hurried with the kids and dealing with work and errands, and try to make that time. And even over time, I saw a change in my emotions, a change in my mood. My weight was dropping, and then all of a sudden, it only took 2 or 3 days or something emotional, a fight with my lover, with my loved one, or with my kids, or money problems to completely throw me over. And then my mood will change, my hormones will take over, and I didn't feel like doing those things anymore. And that's because at the time I didn't understand that logically I knew it, but emotionally I wasn't ready. So sometimes I will ask my clients, are you ready to do this? And some clients look at me like I'm trying to be mean, or they kind of don't like me. In those 4 to 5 seconds right when I ask the question, they think, this woman does not understand me. And I know what they're thinking because I've been in their shoes. However, if I ask this question, it's because I know that the only way to lose weight is by persistence, by creating habits, and by reinforcing those habits over time. And those habits don't have to be huge. They can be really small. But as long as you go reinforcing over time, you will lose weight. Now what happened is that because it's been so long that we haven't lost weight, and it's been so long that we don't see each other as thin or healthy, we try to do this fast and we want results really quickly. And so that's part of the problem. If you're expecting to lose weight in a month or 2, or a week or 2, then you're going to be disappointed. And when you get disappointed, then your mood takes over, your emotional takes over. And so even though you know what you have to do, you will throw the towel. And this is why diets don't work. Because really, emotionally, you at least have to have some kind of what we call locus of control. You have to believe that whatever you do in your life, if you take action, is going to help. So there need to be some psychological context that need to be in place for these things to happen. A lot of people think that and I know the locus of control refers to what you believe is and is not within your control. But some people feel like life is simply happening to them, that they have an external locus of control. Now, other people believe that they are in control in their lives. And one of the things that, and I love Tony Robbins. I don't know if you ever heard him talk, but I'm just going to put him as an example because he said something that changed the way that I was thinking on my way of controlling my weight, which was emotion is all about action. So yes, you have to put those clothes before the day before. You have to remember, put an alarm in your calendar every morning or in your phone to make sure that you drink water when you just get up. Make time in your schedule. But I don't want you to like have it in your head and know, okay, I'm going to go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's not really going to work over time. You need to have it right down in your schedule. Make real time in your schedule. And if somebody that, unless of course it's an emergency or your kids from school calling or something like that. But if somebody wants to go into your time, you say, no, I have an appointment. And you don't really have to give any more explanation. I have an appointment with myself. That's your appointment. That's your time for yourself. So that's the way that we take charge or control of our lives. Remember that if you don't take control of your life and your schedule, then somebody else will. Sometimes we have to learn how to say no. So even when something happens that appears to come from the outside, you will be prepared. And you'll still be able to see that you do have that power over that outcome. This is called internal locus of control. Sometimes, if you're a very giving person and caring person, especially for women, this is really difficult because we have been programmed and trained and grown up to be caring people, nurturers that say, yes, I will help you. Yes, I will be there for you. Even against our own needs. And so we need to stop and think, okay, I have an appointment with myself. You know what? You have to learn how to say, you know what? I really would like to help you with that, but from 10 to 11 in the morning, I have my time for me. Or I have an appointment with myself and I can't do it, but I will be glad to help you at another time. So that way also people will start respecting you more as you respect yourself also. Everyone varies how much control they think they have depending on their circumstances in their life. And so the question is, how do you develop an internal locus of control and succeed in sugar detoxing? So this is where the second psychological principle comes in. This is called bias towards action. Because if you feel like your life is totally outside of your control, you're unlikely to take action because you don't believe that this is going to make a difference. You have a bias towards inaction in that situation. And remember when we were talking about the mind and theory of mind, remember that a lot of part of our brain, almost 88% plus the lesser brain is almost a 90%, is going to go towards that pleasure and pain principle. So if you have associated exercise with pain, or if you associated eating that chocolate cake with pleasure, then it's going to be more difficult for you. But if you, now that you know, you have to recognize that, okay, I know that my brain is telling me that I should eat the cheesecake or the chocolate cake or have another cafe latte through a Starbucks, but is that good for me? Is that what my body needs? Or I can say, okay, I still need sugar, but instead of having a cafe latte, I'm going to have some blueberries or I'm going to have some strawberries. So at least have an escape or a replacement, right? If you don't have a plan for a replacement, then you will fall back into your old habits. That was part of what was happening to me too. I went through, I craved the sugar, and then when I went through Starbucks, I was like, okay, let me get a cafe latte. But if I would have, because I didn't have a replacement, but if you throw all the sugar that you have in your house and buy groceries doesn't really have to be organic groceries, but if you have good veggies and good fruits and you have them at home, then you can say, okay, you know what? I don't have to go through Starbucks because I got in the Tupperware here. I got some strawberries or some blueberries that I prepare. Okay? So in order to overcome this, you have to begin by taking action and see what happens. I can tell you this, within 3 or 4 days of going into ketosis, or even if it's just eating better and you don't really want to lose weight, but you just want to feel better. The problem with sugar addiction, we need to be patient, obviously, because the results don't happen overnight. You didn't put 40 or 50 pounds overnight. How will you expect to lose 50 pounds in a month? So most people give up before they have started because we have false expectations. So in the confidence in action, we are going to talk about the 5-second rule, which is great. And this is what I was telling you about the 5 seconds. Stop for 5 seconds and think about the goal here is to act when you normally wouldn't. Like I said the other day, I went to get some food and there were 2 aisles. In one aisle there was a beautiful pasta, penne pasta with a bunch of veggies, but a lot of cheese and sauce, and in the other side there was salmon with green asparagus. So which one to choose? Of course my body wanted the sugar, right? Pastas, whole grains, sauces, all of that is actually poison for your body. So my body said, okay, I want the pasta. But then I used the 5-second rule. I counted to 5 and then I said, okay, if I take the pasta, how is that going to hurt me? And so I took the other route and chose the salmon and the green asparagus. So even when you're tempted, try to choose the better alternative. Because even if you're not succeeding 100%, then at least you're persistent on decreasing calories or persisting in choosing the good options over time. This is what we want. That way you will train yourself that you have more influence over your life than you have formerly thought. And when you do this several times, and it does take several times, you will start creating a habit. Your own mind will start going into the creative side, into the modern mind that we talk about, choosing good things for you. And knowing that all those pastas, all that white sugar, all those bread, all of that is not good for you. So then you develop a bias towards action, meaning you believe that you're the type of person who takes action to influence your life. And then this in turn develops your internal locus of control and makes you feel empowered to direct your own life. It gives you confidence. But there is still one underlying psychological principle that's even more important to understand. It is the core belief that ultimately determines your ability to have this internal locus of control and a bias towards action, and then maintain all those. And this key ingredient is developing confidence. It also happens to be the same belief that differentiates those who are successful for those who aren't. This is not just a belief, it's a mindset. It's another way of looking at yourself and at life. If constantly you're putting yourself down and you're hearing that negative talk, I'm never gonna lose the weight, I look fatter than I did last year, I don't care if I eat another piece of cheesecake, it doesn't matter anyways, things that your mind or that you're listening to your mind to say, if you start doing these habits, then your self-talk begins to become positive. This is a mindset. And the more resilient that you are, the better at coping with failure and the more likely to challenge yourself. Ultimately, you become more confident, and this will help you in other areas of your life also. We're not looking at failing. Everybody fails here and there. Sometimes there will come a time in which you have been following the keto diet or following a diet, and then you have to get that cafe latte. Alright, so just move on, accept it, and then challenge. Instead of just coping with the failure in the wrong way and avoiding the challenge of become better. We talk about emotional versus logical confidence today. I hope that you will join me in the next lecture. Thank you so much. Have a great day.